The European Union-African Union Summit ended in Brussels, Belgium, Friday. Dozens of African leaders and top government officials attended the meeting. It comes as African countries express concern about what they say are unfair trade agreements between EU member nations and African countries. The EU countries are seeking reforms to address the challenges of what they say are the unfair trade agreements. General Jeje Odongo is Uganda's foreign minister who attended the EU-AU summit. In part one of this Skype interview, I began by asking him about concerns of African countries as well as the major takeaways of the summit.
It is true that in general terms, we may not be very unhappy, but we are concerned that the arrangement that exists between Africa and the EU is quite unsatisfactory. Why? We think it's unsatisfactory because it consigns Africa to raw material producers. There seems to be no attempt to assist Africa, to enable Africa add value to its raw material. And this is not the thing that we want. We want to graduate away from merely producers of raw material, but to at least a stage where we can process and add value to our materials so that we can get a lot more from them.
Were some of these concerns addressed during the just concluded EU-AU summit?
I wouldn't say they were specifically addressed, but we had a conversation about them, and we have agreed on a mechanism to go into the details and nitty-gritty of dealing with these problems.
You are seeking reforms, but were they open to addressing them, perhaps in the near future?
In fact, if I could quote the chairperson of the EU Commission, she did indicate that she would like to meet the chairperson of the EU Commission as soon as possible under the assistance of the World Trade Organization so that they can go into the nitty-gritty of all of these matters.
What do you think are the major takeaways following this EU-AU summit that you attended?
For me, the takeaway is that we have established a new atmosphere, a new rapport, and a willingness on the part of Europe to listen to Africa and consider prioritizing Africa's priorities.
I also understand Uganda is seeking reforms at the UN Security Council, where Uganda wants Africa to have a seat at the UN Security Council. Talk to me about this effort and where it is now.
It is not Uganda, it is Africa that is seeking reforms in the various organs of the United Nations. And one of those organs is the United Nations Security Council. Why are we part of this effort? Remember, Africa, the summit, in its own wisdom, selected 10 members of the AU summit to spearhead the effort on the part of Africa to get these reforms undertaken. The last meeting that committee of 10, the C10, held was on the 19th and 20th of January in Kampala, and we reiterated the positions that we had already taken. That one, we are interested in making sure that the injustices that have been Africa has suffered are corrected. Take, for example, Europe, 500 million people, 2 seats. Africa, 1.4 billion people, no seat. Is that justice? It is that we are seeking to ensure that is corrected.
What has been the reaction so far since Africa has been pushing this for some time, particularly the C10 summit that was held recently in Kampala?
Well, first of all, on the part of Africa, there is a general agreement. We are now moving into another stage in this effort to get reforms undertaken. We are now going into the negotiations proper. And what I get so far from Africa's permanent representatives at the UN is that there is a willingness to listen and to discuss Africa's point of view.
General Jeje Odongo is Uganda's foreign minister. He spoke with me from Brussels, Belgium.